What is up, everybody? Good evening, good night, good day, happy Hawaiian time, whatever. We're all over the world. We've got people in Cambodia listening. Found that out the other day. Got a little email with some metrics. I'm Braden with
Well,
Little Bug Woodworking. Welcome to another episode of Sawdust Talk. We got my boy Kimani down here with Van Stray Designs. Hey, Kimani.
Hey.
And we have a special guest tonight. We're going in a lot of directions. We're going to talk about Workbench Con. We're going to talk about slabs, big ones, finishes, and we're probably going to talk about the scandal with Rihanna. Zach from Rustic Lumber. What's up, Zach?
hey, how's it going?
Good. How you doing tonight?
Oh, it's just another night. It's windy out here tonight. I about came up to our office and I was like, "Holy smokes! I couldn't believe how windy it is." It was like warmer earlier, then it gets cooled off, and I think it's supposed to be like 30 again this weekend. So I'm like, man, I don't. I'm just ready for it to be like end of March and just stay 50 degrees from here on out.
Yeah, you're a local guy to me, so we can commiserate in the weather. Dude, it is supposed to snow Friday to Saturday. It's supposed to hit freezing, and then literally the next day shoots right back up to 50, and then it's 60s all next week. It's
Yeah,
bananas.
I'll take 60. That'll work for me. I mean, for being February, it shouldn't even be like that right now. So it works for me.
Right. Yeah. No, we've definitely broken something on the planet. The temperature knob is not working the way it's supposed to, but as long as it keeps being 60 in February, I might be okay with it.
Yep.
Controversial stance. Kamani, what's it like up in the Pacific Northwest these days?
It we had last week, I think it was like in the 60s, like high 50s, low 60s, and then it dropped overnight. I haven't checked the temperature, but the most we've gotten in terms of snowfall at all has been like a very minimal dusting one day, like, stuck around for a day or two and then it was gone. So yeah, it's been a very mild winter here. I mean, we've had like 30-degree weather and wind and stuff. So that part sucked. It was just, why is it that cold if there's no snow? So
What are you in Washington? You live in Washington?
yeah, I'm in Tacoma, Washington.
Oh, okay. So is it like not normally cold there or something? Because 30 degrees in Nebraska is like a decent day in
That's short.
winter, you know?
Yeah, that's short
Well,
weather.
yeah, like, I mean, it's more so like when it rains, it warms up. So everything, you're trying to like, oh, it's rainy or whatever, but then it all like warms up to like another like a good like 50, 60 degrees. So I feel like I'm in witness protection right now. Needed one of those voice changers.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
You don't know who I am. But yeah. Anytime it rains here a lot, so when it rains, it warms up. So I almost look forward to like the drizzle, just because like that cold front just kind of goes away for a little while.
Yeah.
I'm gonna swap my cameras around real quick.
so I mean, let's be honest. Nobody likes the cold. Snow sucks. But you know what doesn't suck? Smooth transition. Our sponsors. We want to give a real quick shout out. We are sponsored by Surf Prep Sanding and George Supply Co. In case you've never ever listened to an episode, we love them. Surf Prep is the place to get all of your abrasives and CA glue and maker swag. Like if you want to start getting your name out there and getting T-shirts and all that stuff, check out our boy over at George Supply Co. He'll get you set up with a website, and you can just pimp out your stuff. Everybody needs a T-shirt with their logo on it. It's like a standard of being a real influencer. So thanks to them. Check them out. All right, Zach. So we talk to a lot of woodworkers, but you're like a woodworker. Like, I mean, I see mantles behind you. I've been out to your facility. Like, it's intense. Why don't you give us the rundown on who the heck you are? What do you do? What's your thing?
Well, I run Rustic Lumber Store here. We're just south of Omaha, and we do everything from. Our biggest thing is slabs, dealing with kind of one-off slabs, not your typical stuff that you're gonna see at most local mills. Dimensional lumber. We carry a little bit of that type of stuff. We don't do any of the sheet goods or any of that, but yeah, and then the equipment, processing equipment, all that type of stuff. We do that here in house, and but yeah, and then originally from this kind of evolved from years of doing log and timber frame construction, and just kind of got more into the furniture side of stuff in the last 5 years, and just kind of kept growing from there. I think it's been I don't know. Did you come down here this last year? I don't remember the last time you've been down.
I was there. I think it was like late spring this last year. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's been a minute. I was picking up a massive monkey pod slab from you to turn into a headboard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like probably honestly one of our more popular ones that we do is monkey pod stuff. Let me move here real quick.
Yeah, like all of your you have a lot of exotic type stuff. I mean, monkey pod and dragon's breath and wizard staff, and I mean, you got all sorts of crazy names for wood out there.
Yeah, I'm always trying to, build up the inventory. There's only so much room that you can have without needing a whole nother building here. Let's see.
Which is ironic because you just walked out of adding on a whole new building.
I know. We're always adding on something in here. Let me turn some lights on.
Oh, so you got
I
the
wish I
big
could figure
hydride
out.
back there.
Yeah, I'm going to turn this other.
The cool thing about having a giant warehouse of lumber is you have a giant.
But yeah, let's see.
We're going on like a Blair Witch thing.
I think we need to extend the Wi-Fi.
All right.
There we go.
So like that's some of the slabs there. So a lot of that back there is monkey pod, and that's the mappa burl that we imported from Ukraine.
He just what? He just what? Just for some like context, as he's like buffering up, these racks, those are like 12, 18 foot tall. All those slabs. They're massive. They're like, luckily we don't get earthquakes, or else it would be a huge OSHA issue.
Nothing strapped down over there?
Loose. Apparently, we need to get a little bit of Wi-Fi tree out there.
There we go.
All right. Yeah, it's like I figured. I walk out there. I had to get another router hooked up. Never have yet. So I had to switch over to like cell phone. I lose my Wi-Fi, but yeah, I probably missed out half the stuff I was even talking about out there, but whatever. I'll have to do that again later, another time.
We'll augment it with a little cut to a reel or something like that with you walking around. But I mean, it's phenomenal. I mean, your slabs they're massive. It's almost intimidating walking into that space.
Yeah, I guess if someone, when you're used to seeing, something that's 24 inches wide, and a lot of people consider that, pretty big piece.
So what's your largest slab out there?
I got in our big racks. I have a couple slabs that are probably average of like 44 inches wide by, I think that one's like 18 or 20 foot. I think that one's, I got some Perota and monkey pot around that size. So I always try to keep at least a couple slabs on hand that are like 16 to 20 foot long for like table slabs, and then everything from 14s, 12s, 10s, and 8s. A lot of the stuff are going to be 40-inch plus wide, but we also carry a lot of narrower stuff or countertops. Domestic species, we cut a lot of those up as well. So, but the domestic stuff, it's not too often you get super wide slabs, but here and there, that it takes a lot of work to cut a big slab. We have a big sawmill, but the amount of effort to use it and make it cut good, and compared to our smaller sawmill, you can cut that smaller stuff a whole lot faster. So that's why, a lot of people don't want to hassle cutting up those big slabs.
So yeah, we there's a local place near me, and they have a Lucas mill. So I think the widest they can do, I don't even know the widest they can do. I know the machine itself is at least like 4 or 5 feet wide. So I don't know what the
Yeah, I'm gonna say those are pretty big. What place is what company is that? Or who's that
it's
you're talking
called
about?
Wayne and Flitch. It's here in
Yeah,
Tacoma, Washington.
yeah, I follow them on Instagram. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they do. Um, yeah, I think most of those Lucas mills, I think the smallest ones are like 5 foot wide or so. So those they run pretty big, but yeah, it's a lot of work to cut those pieces up for sure.
Oh yeah.
So you
But
do a lot of stuff. I mean, you do drying, you do slabs, you do timber framing, retail space. What came first? Like, how did you get into all this?
doing log construction is what it all started. Um, back the first log structure, I built one with my dad like in 2006. And well, we did one back when I was like, I don't even know, what was I, 13 years old or so. We did a small, like, it was a pole barn, but we did like wood timber frame inside of it. And that was, I don't even know, what was that? Probably like 2004 or something like that. And then, yeah, like I said, I think 2006, we built a little one, just kind of, you know, just kind of like each time we do one, we'd do something a little more complicated. And then out of high school, I found a place up in Ontario, old time dude that taught like log home handcrafting, where he'd teach you the way of like peeling the bark off the logs, and you'd use actual raw logs and scribe them to fit on each other, and use like cables and pulleys to lift them up from like one tree, with like a cable winch line. And so it's super old school stuff, using chop axes and adze and things like that to fit these logs together. So that was a fun experience. And then, yeah, when I moved back, because I was there for like 4 or 5 months up there in Canada learning that stuff. And then when I came back was like when all the housing crisis stuff was going on, what was that, like 2008 through 2010 or so. So during that time, I just had oddball jobs doing stuff like working for a few different framing companies. I worked for a tile contractor for a while, just odds and ends stuff till it was like 2000, I don't know, 11 or 12, that business actually started picking up again enough to get busy at that. So then, but really in the last 5 years, we started this retail side of stuff, and it was kind of just a part-time hobby thing, really. Like I'd just sell slabs here and there. Someone would get a hold of us or through marketplace, but it just kept kind of growing more and more. And now really it's the bigger part of our business. We don't even actually do home construction, because before we used to do like general contracting. So we do the house from start to finish. And Last year was the first year we didn't build a house since like I think 2011 or so, because I just been busy doing enough other stuff, and there's just a lot of stress not being a general contractor anymore. And then during the warm season, really a lot of work I get busy with myself beyond just running the shop here, but I do a lot of log home restoration. So I sandblast old log homes, I repair rotten logs, restain it, caulking, that type of maintenance stuff. So really that's about what I focus on during the warm season. And then timber stuff. So we'll build like oddball projects, pergolas, timber trusses. We do a lot of timber trusses and timber staircases. So it's kind of turned in from doing log home construction. Our main guy that's been working with us for years, Josh, he's been with us for like 13 years. And yeah, so it's been pretty nice between him and I. The older we get, the less type of like general home construction you want to do, like sheeting roofs and framing and all, that's the unfun stuff. So pretty much just kind of structuring the business where the fun stuff, the skilled trade of timber work and building furniture and cabinetry and things like that, that's just what we're focusing on now. So
I feel like you could make sheathing a roof fun. I mean, if you had an entire monkey pod roof sort of
yeah,
thing instead of shingles, just slabs, that could be kind of fun. Probably a little cost ineffective, but
sheeting a roof is, it's fun when it's just the one time you got to do it like once a year. So you're like, oh, I haven't been up here to sheet a roof for a while. So it's kind of like, but doing it day after day all the time when it's like the only thing to do and it's crappy weather out and you're like, oh man, I do not want to sheet a roof. It's like 12 degrees and windy outside today. That's when it sucks.
I don't do heights, so at no point is sheeting a roof like my idea of fun. So I'll let you keep doing it,
Yeah,
or somebody else.
yeah, the heights, that's one thing that, well, I always figured, well, in my mind, what keeps me away from being afraid of heights, I'm like, if the heights are safe, then I'm not nervous. Like if it's unsafe, then you're like, oh, or like going up on machines when people are high up in machines and they get all nervous about like, hey, if JLG made this machine tip over, then I guess that sucks for me and my family's gonna do good. Like that's their problem. They're the one that made it, so let's just put faith in that, I guess. Or people that parachute, out of planes. It's like, man, you're more likely to die driving to that airport to get on the airplane than you are parachuting. If you got someone that's helping you out to make sure you do, maybe if you do it your first time or something, that's not going to be a good idea. But
Well, yeah, but that statistic is skewed because there's so fewer people jumping out of planes. Like it's a totally skewed perspective. End of the day, you shouldn't be jumping out of good planes.
yeah, I guess so. It's
I
one
had to
thing
do
I've
it at
never
least
tried yet,
once.
but I would totally go parachuting. I think it would be awesome.
I've gone once, 25th birthday.
And that was enough, huh?
Yeah, I was like, I'm 25. It's either up or down from here, and I made it to the ground. So
Yeah,
I've
but
I've been
but then do it again though, huh? You're like that one time's enough times.
yeah. I was like, oh, I did it. I got the photo. I got the video. I'm good. So if my kids ever want to talk about it one day, I was like, you could watch it on DVD, and then explain to them what a DVD is.
Yeah, right.
I've been thrice, and it's because at the time I have no interest. I'm a huge disappointment to my Navy pilot father. I don't like planes or boats, but I went skydiving thrice, and it was because of the same reason that a lot of people do a lot of dumb stuff. It was a pretty
Women.
girl. It was a
Yeah.
pretty girl. And I actually got certified to skydive. So I've never done it tandem. I've only done it solo. I did it exactly enough times to propose to my wife. And as soon as she said yes, never again. I immediately canceled the membership, like literally on the way out. I'm like, don't ever call me. So
I got what I needed.
yeah, I did what I needed to do here. Never talk to me again. Don't. So I get
All that
nervous.
time, You didn't gain a hobby out of that?
No, I get nervous like in video games jumping off of high places. Like I don't like heights.
Not an Assassin's Creed fan.
Not one bit. Nope. I get nervous. I'm like, ooh, this is gonna hurt. Oh wait, it's a video game. It's not real. So,
Do you do the VR stuff?
no, I don't. It makes I get dizzy and all that, and I figure I got enough to do in RR. I don't need VR.
You do that VR, and then that stuff will actually make you feel like you're up somewhere higher. You're like, holy crap! And you're like, wait, I'm standing on the ground.
Yeah, that'll throw you off. No, I'll leave that. I'll leave that to other people. Kimani, you a VR guy?
I've not experienced any of the new stuff. So I mean, I see in the chat everybody talking about the new Apple VR stuff, and I for a very short period of time I had the Oculus Rift, but at the time it was worth more for me to sell it than to keep it. So I got it, and it immediately went to some other home for a hefty little markup. So yeah, no, I haven't. I'm not opposed to it. I just haven't gotten into any of the VR stuff yet. So as it keeps growing and probably becomes more affordable, I can probably see myself once I figure out how to balance playing a game and all my other hobbies and like being a dad. So
How long do you guys think that VR will become? I wouldn't say like the standard, but not at all far from a majority of people using VR for designing stuff. I mean, could you imagine using like VR for like AutoCAD or something like that, designing anything, whether it's furniture or full architectural plan, like the VR for that aspect would be amazing. I would imagine to be able to use.
I had this exact same conversation with somebody the other day, and I think it's already happening. It's just not as commonplace in the market. I'm pretty sure there are design agencies who are working that angle, because right now a lot of people use like SketchUp or some other CAD design so they can show the space in a 3D format. So it's really only a matter of time before they make something that looks like a pair of shades and have a conference room where you're really like engaging with the space. That's what I think that's what Facebook and Meta was trying to do with the metaverse and their headset, is basically to give you that engaging experience. So it's really only a matter of time. And the closest comparison I could say is 3D printing. Like 4 years ago, 3D printing was like, there's like 3 or 4 main brands who are making printers, and they're all crazy expensive. And fast forward to today, those brands are still around, but it's more affordable, more attainable, and a lot more people are getting into it. So I think it's just a matter of time before the adoption rate of VR into the maker space really, really explodes in terms of designing. I don't know. I mean, if you're working on an epoxy table, I'm not sure how much VR is going to help you than actually stirring. But yeah, like if you're designing a room with furniture you build, or something you're crafting, being able to get that person engaged, breaks down that barrier of trying to help their imagination.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I could just see even in the designing stage, because right now if you're using SketchUp or AutoCAD, that's done on a computer screen with a cursor. I mean, not just using VR as like the 3D experience, but even during the designing stage, I could see people using VR actually doing the designing versus a screen and cursor.
Yeah, I totally blanked on it. So there's a show that my wife and I have been watching. It's based over, I think, in Ireland. But the premise of their show is they're doing a renovation. They have 2 designers. They come up with 2 designs, but they show it in VR. So they have the VR headsets, and they have the couple, going through the rooms and like, this is how we're going to redo your living room. This is what we're going to redo to your kitchen. And then after that, they choose which floor plan they want to work with. But they totally design that and use VR for them to experience what the room is. So, and this show has been around for I've been watching a couple of seasons of it, so it's been around for at least the last 3 to 4 years. So, I mean, companies are already exploring that space. It's like I said, it's the adoption rate of breaking out of like an architectural or design firm into the maker space. But it's a really good show, actually.
Yeah.
Are you talking about that show with like Chip and Joanne Gaines and where they like pull the like the big giant picture of the house in half?
No,
Like, is that the VR?
No, it's a house. Is it Housemaid Home? It's on Hulu. And yeah, like I've watched a couple of seasons of it. But yeah, they had their 2 original seasons, and they came out with a 3rd season. But they all, like I said, they all do the VR headset. And then there's another show where they just have a giant floor, and the floor is like the hologram, or the floor print of like what the room would be. So yeah, they're overseas. They're apparently doing like a lot of shows where they're deep diving into the technology of designing your space. So it, like I said, it takes out that trying to interpret what a drawing looks like or what a sketch looks like, and giving you the actual dimensions.
Yeah.
All I'm hearing is that we're getting hosed with American television. We've got VR, like House Hunters, Minority Report Edition, and then they've got all those game shows on like Japanese TV. Like, we are missing out on the good stuff.
Yeah, all right. You got to deep dive into Hulu.
Yeah, we've got what episode or season like 87 of Survivor. Like, come on, let's move on. Let's get
right. Why don't they get to stay in their house and pretend to survive with the VR headsets on?
That'd be easier.
Okay, so VR aside, in the real world, we still work with all of this stuff. So you last year you said you didn't frame out any houses, but you were kind of framing out like your own house, if you know what I mean, in terms of your expansion on your space. How did that process go?
Yeah, we added on to our showroom here, and it took, I don't know, a little over a year. We kind of worked on it off and on. And, originally this area, we planned on building a roof over or enclosing it eventually, or not enclosing it, but we were just going to use it as dry storage. And that was a year prior before we turned it into a showroom. So, we just pretty much, when you know how to build stuff, you're just like, oh, we'll just build this here, and we just took about a year and a few extra months. And I mean, for the most part, it's done in here. This is our whole area in here. So pretty well have it.
So this is kind of like the retail space, like, because y'all do tables and things like that. And those are all mantles I see over there.
Yeah, this is, the wall for all the mantles. So, whether someone just wants to come in and buy one, but that's where I've been starting to put those. So I put those on the website and then just hang them up on the wall there. But yeah, then we have some different tables here. And then this is our original showroom, which we actually remodeled it. It didn't originally look like this in here, but this is the original section. So it was a 30 by 30, and then added onto it from there. So, but yeah, that's. Do
you just have stacks of tables back there?
Yeah, I know. I batched out a whole bunch of tables, and then it was kind of an experiment. I'm like, all right, so if I do a bunch of tables in a big batch, is it going to be worth the hassle? These are some 5 and 6 footers. I did a bunch of 5 and 6 footers, and they're like 3-piece sets. And I've sold a few of them, but I'll have tables and inventory ready to go, and then I'll still have people come in and, they'll almost like it, but not quite the way they want. So then we end up still making something from scratch for them. Like, man, I have like 15 different tables to pick from in here, and you can't find one you like, and we still got to make you something. Hey, look at that. What's up, dude?
What's up, guys? Sorry, I didn't get the text message or the Instagram message till literally just now.
Yeah.
We
No, that's perfect timing anyways. I said 9:30, so yeah.
Perfect.
we actually waited to send the text. We wanted to see if you were really paying attention.
Yeah, right. It's obviously I wasn't.
So okay, so Zach, so I know you kind of have a time thing, so I want to make sure that we cover a couple of things.
Yeah.
The first being so Workbench Con, like first time going to Workbench Con this year. How did that
Yeah.
come to be?
I mean, so essentially, it would be, I think, man, I should look it up for sure. Has it been, Brandon, would it be, it's been definitely over a year since we had our furniture oil. Has it been like a year and
Yeah,
a
I was
half
gonna
or
say. I think
something
it's about
like
a bit
that?
of. Yeah, I think it's been about a. Well, let's see here. I think the first year I came in, which was 21, that's when we got the epoxy, and then the year
Mhm.
later we got the furniture oil. So it's
Yeah.
been a little bit over a year and a half, or roughly around a year and a half since we got the furniture oil, and we've been
Yeah.
eyeballing Workbench Con for probably around that same amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah. So we had our furniture oil now for about a year and a half. And last year I thought about doing Workbench Con, but um, the visibility of our furniture oil or how many people knew about it wasn't enough at the time, in my opinion, to spend the money to go to Workbench Con. But now this year, there's been quite a few people where in the woodworking community, a lot of people that use, like Rubio or, essentially it's a direct comparative to the Rubio at a much lesser cost. So anyone that uses Rubio, a good percentage of them that are visibly on Instagram have probably seen about our product by now. So I kind of figured it was worth the time to go to Workbench Con with our product. And I would think that by now the people that are going to Workbench Con, that particular crowd, for sure at least half them had to have seen or heard something about our furniture oil by now on Instagram. So Brandon and I are going to go there, and then just do what you do at Workbench Con, meet everyone. We're going to have a lot of wood samples there. So I'm going to take probably walnut because that's the most popular. Maybe walnut and like some maple because that's a blonde color. But I'm going to have like a bunch of boards pre-sanded to like 180 grit or something, and I'm gonna bring a couple dozen up there, and then throughout the 2 days I'm gonna do the finishing on it. So like one day I'll put one layer on, the next day second layer, and then like the last day put ceramics. But I'll do it like I don't know, a board every hour, every other hour or something throughout each day so people can see the different stages. But I got a few different plans like that, but essentially that's what it came to with the furniture oil, and why we went to Workbench Con is to just really push out the that product more out there, and everyone's been real happy that's used it so far. So yeah.
I have a fresh jar here that I just cracked open. I mean, it's phenomenal stuff. I use it on just about everything. Um, and it just started because when you first got it, we'd been talking about it before you were getting your shipments in. We'd been talking about it, and when it came in, I figured I'm going to try it out, and yeah, it's phenomenal. So if anybody has not tried out the rustic lumber wood finish, do it. Just do it right now. Try
Please,
code
Yeah.
we would highly appreciate it.
try 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 code Sawdust Talk. It probably won't do anything, but you'll feel good typing it in. So
Is that your affiliate code?
I I don't remember. You've changed affiliate programs a couple times over the years,
Yeah, I think the
so I'm
last
not
time
sure
I
where I'm
changed
at.
it, I think it was, I don't know, about 6 or 8 months ago. I changed it. So the one I like now. So essentially, I was trying to find one that's good enough for what I'm looking for the free version, because that's how Shopify works. Is everyone creates an app for everything, and they either want you to spend $15 to $25 a month on something stupid like that, or you try to find one that's decent that gives you a free version. So I'm like, man, I'm not spending $50 a month to buy an affiliate app program to make it for people to buy stuff cheaper, you know? Like, I ain't doing that. So, but
Well,
yeah,
your stuff
go
is
ahead.
already like crazy reasonably priced anyway. So, I mean, yeah, definitely try it out. Type in Sawdust Talk, type in friendship, that code might work. Manscaped, see if that works. Just start typing things in. Something's bound
Just
to work.
type in anything.
If it's on Etsy, type in thank you 10. But
Yeah, it's not on Etsy, that's for sure.
I didn't even
But
honestly
yeah,
think about it being on Etsy, to be honest with you. It was like the last thing I even thought of.
that's the last thing anybody should be thinking of. But no, I mean it's a phenomenal product, and you have kind of the whole kit and caboodle of like epoxy table making. Like you can kind of, you're a start to finish option. You've
yeah.
got the epoxy, you've got the finish, you've got the ceramic coating, you've got the lumber. What don't you
Yeah, I
have?
mean that was really kind of how we wanted to well, we started having our epoxy, and originally I thought the epoxy was going to be, a little bigger than what it was. I used to sell Ice Brand epoxy, which was a good product. No problem with that. But my I just, by the time I would buy ice epoxy and ship it here, and then the price they sold it on their website, it was like they themselves was like my biggest competitor, or people or whoever sold it on Amazon, for 100. And at the time when I was a dealer, I think ice epoxy was selling for a 3-gallon kit for like $190 on Amazon or something, and it's like me as a dealer, I could hardly, honestly compete very much with that. And so then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna, and since then, I mean, it's not really hard to find different epoxy because there's essentially only like, I think in all of North America, like known epoxy manufacturers for like the type of epoxy that we use for deep pours, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 maybe manufacturers. There's a couple up in Canada, but most of these companies that people are buying epoxy from are not at all making it themselves. They find a reputable manufacturer that makes a good, and that makes sense. Why would you try to like reformulate or remake the wheel? If there's a brand out there, a company that has a guaranteed formula that works, that's what you use. But with the epoxy, essentially there's just there's so much competition out there, it's saturated. So we still have our epoxy brand, and mostly it's just to have it on hand because a lot of local people do buy it because there's nowhere locally around Omaha to get deep pour, especially for the price. And we sell a little bit online, but what's really been our bread and butter has been the furniture oil, which was a big process to ever even make happen. First of all, to find a manufacturer to work with from over in Europe, and because that's where we get the furniture oil, and then get it here, get it approved to be here, get the branding and all that stuff to happen, and then just getting it out into the market has been a lot of work, and essentially the way we've been doing it is a whole grassroots styles, in my opinion. I haven't been spending tens of thousands of dollars on any sort of marketing campaign or anything. Essentially, I started like a little over a year ago. In the very beginning, I think I had like, it was for, I don't know, several months until I received my first inventory. I had like, what was it, 50% off the cans or something. So I was trying to get as many people to buy, I was just giving it away at that point in time at the beginning. And I just cold message people on Instagram, and, really honestly, like no one hardly at all took me serious whatsoever. But now, a year and a half later, people are actually seeing that, I mean, the Wood Whisperer, he did a video, and it, he loved the product for what hard wax oil is, and but yeah, it's really taken, the best thing is it's a good product at like the best price. We're obviously making a little bit of money, but could make a whole lot more money. I mean, I could sell the cans for $75 and still be substantially cheaper than the next best option. But at $50 a can, it allows the woodworkers get a good product at a reasonable price, so that's, and then plus, since we're the direct, source for our products, there's not an extra middleman. So we're just keeping the overhead, we do all of our own fulfillment and all of our stockings here at our warehouse here in Louisville. So yeah, that's just kind of how that's grown. And yeah, pretty much.
Nope.
Oh man, that story was so touching. I made him cry.
I know, he
like
gets
leave the
very
screen.
emotional.
We should have had like that. We should have had like that emotional music background, like on football movies or something.
I feel like it's important to give some context. This is the can that you're getting for $50. Like, this thing's massive. I think.
Yeah, with free shipping.
Yeah, I mean, you just can't beat it. So,
with free shipping, hey,
free 99, only with code friendship.
I mean, I have one potential table to finish, so I may have to hit you up on that.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, and Kimani, don't worry. You can make sure that you like it, because at Workbench Con, you'll be able to rub it.
Hey, it's even better.
Rub the oil on the wood. But yeah, and then essentially, Workbench Con goes hand in hand with, the whole fact of organic content creation and stuff. And, that's Brandon and I. Is it over 2 years now that, we first met up together, and just kind of, we had a idea in mind what to do, but we kind of just winged it with, what we did, to get out there in the marketplace and stuff like that. And yeah, it's been working real good,
Yeah, adaptation and strategy.
I've always wondered, is the past term of winging something, is it winged or is it wanged?
Is it not wung?
I don't know. Wunged.
Wunged it.
So, Brandon, what's your involvement with this whole like rustic lumber thing? Because I don't know anything about you. I want to know about you.
I am the content guy. So all the stuff that you've seen on our YouTube channel, most of the stuff you've seen on Instagram, that has been filmed or edited or done by me. I think almost everything on our YouTube has been done by me. And so Zach and I came in like, I think 21, and Zach was like, hey, this is the concept. This is the idea that I want to work with. And I said, dope, because that's something that I want to produce. And so from there, it's just grown. And Zach was able to mentor me a bit and suggest that I started my own business. And then I started my own business called Churlish Media. And from there, I've been able to work with all types of people, from guns and hoses to a local bakery and coaches and all kinds of things. But Rustic Lumber Store is still, that's still where my heart is. Even though I'm not a woodworker, we've grown so much over the last couple of years that my goal is to always figure out, how can we get bigger? How can we go somewhere else? Where can we get a slab next? I've been watching Next Level Chef. I don't know if you guys have watched that, but they have this giant table. Zach, I'll have to send it to you. I almost want to bet it's a monkey pot or Perota slab. And it's a good, like, maybe 15 feet, or maybe, I could be wrong, like a 12-foot, 15-foot one, but it's huge. But it's got a gloss over the top, like an epoxy gloss, and it does not look good with the lighting above it. And so I've been trying to figure out every way possible, who can I get in contact with over at Fox to be like, hey guys, listen, we'll get you a slab and we'll finish it and we'll bring it out there by hand personally, just so that way it quit reflecting in the lights. So that's my goal and intent. And with Workbench Con, it's really just, I'm going to be out there doing interviews. So with the woodworking community, I know there's more and more people coming in, and I know dozens of people have questions all the time. And instead of each audience trying to figure out a way to get to those and answer those questions, I want to sit down with people, ask them questions that woodworkers really want to know, getting started into the business, content creating, and just really how to what is the best strategy for them moving forward or just starting out. And plus getting to hear everybody's story and getting to meet more people in the industry. So that's me.
I'm going to be honest. I'm shocked that you still have a job. Kimani, did you see the last person that he interviewed for their YouTube channel? It's our dear friend Justin Bailey.
Oh, I did see his face pop up on there. So I apologize for the drop in viewership after that.
No, Justin's great. Justin's great.
Yeah. No, we're in a group chat with Justin, so my day is spent giving him a hard time back and forth.
Literally while we were filming, he was like, right after we wrapped, he was like, sorry, I'm in a group chat with all your Omaha guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same chat. Yeah.
He's fine. Fine is probably the adjective that is best used to describe him. He's okay.
Dang. I'm gonna be like, Justin, you gonna let your boys just talk about you like this?
Oh, he is. He's gonna let it happen.
Well, look, he wasn't brave enough to join the Instagram group chat, so he gets what he gets. So,
oh, dang. Well, I get it.
It's it's cold in these streets. But yeah, no, that's awesome that you say that. And I've gone to Workbench Con a few times, and the people kind of walking around and interviewing. And one of the things, I don't know if you guys have considered it with your demonstration, but if you have small cubes, cut some material down to 1x1 squares, give people a chance to apply a little finish, do a little make and take. So because one thing people do is and I'm guilty of it, is that you walk around the booths, you get a little bit of swag, everything goes in your big Workbench Con bag, and then when you finally get home, maybe a few days, a few weeks later, you start to unpack, and you're like, oh, what's this? And it just jogs that memory from being at Workbench, or do whatever you do. So just a little thing, put it in a little baggie for your little make and take, and that way you can kind of you'll people, sensory triggers, you smell it, you feel the finish, you smell the finish, you're like, oh yeah, let me check that finish out again if I didn't do it while I was at the show.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah,
that's
a great idea.
That and selling this stuff but having it shipped to them, because this won't go through checked luggage, or this won't go through carry-on.
Not at all.
Yeah.
They'll stop you quick. They're gonna go.
You're getting 2 pat downs.
What do you got here? Matter of fact, come with us.
We're gonna give you the bonus pat down
on that, for the swag bag or something, because out of with that swag bag, I can opt to put something in there or something, but essentially, go as a vendor, even as a person, the tickets, overall it's worth it, but Workbench Con's expensive to do. So I'm I'm kind of a cheap ass right now, and I already spent all my money, so I'm not getting 700 t-shirts or something made, but I thought of doing with that furniture oil or something, because I thought of getting little bottles made up or something, but then a couple problems. One, it has to be small enough that they can bring on the plane, and then I got to bottle up 600 bottles, and then either they would just have no labels on them, or nothing, or I'd have to get labels made. So what I thought of doing is just putting, because also at the same time I can't give a $50 can free plus shipping to all 600 people, but I thought of doing a 50% off coupon or something like that if they come visit us, really all. And that's when at this Workbench Con too, you can always tell some people when you really click, where you're just when you're talking to them, they're like, hey dude, I'll just send you a can or something, so that it's but yeah, I've been trying to ponder on how much to spend on it.
Coasters, we were trying to figure out, do we go with coasters, koozies, what's going to be the best idea for it? But yeah, we'll get something figured out, maybe even have a couple coasters that we give away that's got it, they're already done and finished, and we've used our oil and stuff, so that way they can have it right there. You're in a wood shop with a bunch of you're having your coffee cup or whatever the thing is down there. Yeah, having a solid coaster would be the good trick.
So,
I would say we've got enough wood in the shop that I'm sure we could throw together a couple dozen.
and
I don't know
there's
about
been
600
some
of them.
people who've they've taken, like I said, small samples, small squares, and they laser engraved the company logo in it. So you take that and dip it in the oil, and basically it's like a little little token that your logo's on it. So if they look at it later, they know exactly what they need to go. Like, oh, let me go. Oh, this is that oil that that furniture finish. Let me go check it out. And if you do like a little coupon card or something like that, 20% off your order from Workbench Con, use code Workbench or whatever you kind of do it. It's a good pairing for like remembering, because like I said, there's still stuff in my swag bag right now from last year that I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that was in there. But once you see it, you're like, oh, let me go do that thing. I got a dust collector, dust separator, and that was months after, but the coupon was still good. So
Yeah.
Hey, that's what happens.
Yeah.
That's what matters.
Yep. And other things I thought of, like once I get there, that first day and before the show starts and fill out the other vendors, but I even thought of stuff because, like, for instance, isn't the Surf Prep, when they do that, don't they do like demonstrations? They like refinish stuff when they're, so I mean, even for instance, like I thought of when I get there, I don't know what they plan, but even different vendors, like for instance, Surf Prep is sanding and refinishing something, like, hey, here's a can of oil, like, vendors work together to, demonstrate, like they do the sanding. Well, I'm the booth over here with the finish. Here's some finish that you can use with them, or if you want me to come over and show how to use the finish, etc. It's not like it's rocket science, but you rub it in and rub it off,
Yeah.
But yeah, there's totally different ways to, market with people, especially at a show like that.
This is a family show. We are not allowed to use phrases like "rub it in" and "rub it off."
I heard wax on, wax off.
You can't say that either. But yeah, no, Hannah, if you're listening, probably bring some buffing pads for the sanders, because there may be a deal being worked out here. So some friendship, synergy, top down siloing.
She's not in the chat, but we'll have to hit her up later and let her know that there's some opportunities presenting themselves on Sawdust Talk tonight.
Are you saying that you don't think that Hannah listens to every single hour, every single week of every episode?
I mean,
I can assure you, I don't know who Hannah is, but the answer is no.
That is the most correct answer. Yeah,
Brandon, I like you. You're gonna hang just A-okay.
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
We arrive Wednesday night and we go hard.
So obviously you can't bring a slab for every single attendee to Workbench Con. That would be cost prohibitive. But I hear you are bringing a slab that somebody could get pretty cheap at Workbench Con. You want to talk about the Makers for St. Jude's thing that you got going on?
I have a Moppa Burrow slab. I have to. I'm gonna bring that along, but it's for the raffle. I think there's only like one person that's even entered on that raffle so far. But and tell you what, I'll let you hold on a second. I'm going to, since I can't walk out into our shop area without losing, because I don't have a Wi-Fi router running out there. Let me quick go grab that slab so I can show people on here, and I'll be right back. So I guess you guys just make jokes about me until I get back. I'll be right back.
I swear, when he walks in with this whole thing just like shouldered up, I'm gonna be pretty impressed. Like just lugging slabs
I
around.
haven't watched Zach. I'm pretty sure I've watched Zach haul just massive like logs or slabs. I'm like, how are you lifting this? Like, is this specifically just lumberjack strength that you have?
It's called Slab Strong.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, and listen, we just dropped off a slab yesterday. I think it's like bullet wood, I think it may have been, or bully wood, one of the two. It was so heavy that we had to so Tim has to unscrew, which is one of the guys in the shop. He's got to unscrew the leg so we can get it through the door. But we have to turn it sideways to get it through the door. So Josh, one of the other guys, and I are holding it up. That was immediately I realized, oh damn, we're in trouble. Like this is heavy. And somehow the four of us get it in there, but I'm like, there's no way possible. I think like any of us could do this by ourselves. But you'd be surprised. Zach has some strength that he just like, I don't know if he keeps it in his legs, if he's got like anchor arms underneath and like we don't know about it. And he just like quickly like blows them up really fast.
He's got secret cans of spinach. They just like
Popeyes. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Just straight Popeyes. That's exactly how it goes.
All right, so I got this slab here, but all right, guys. But just, I don't know what on Instagram, does it look like it does for us, where it's 4 split screens on here? Is that what it looks like that everyone else sees it?
What it looks like.
Here, let's see if I can do this. No, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, here. Everybody's gonna be quiet for a second.
Oh, so do I not hear you all? You just hear me? I'm guessing so.
Yes, it's just you.
Okay. All right.
All
so
you.
I'm gonna show you guys this slab here, but it's Instagram. So there's only one way. Well, I don't know if this applies for men, but anyways, it's Instagram. There's only one way that we're allowed to show. Hold on, y'all. Because we can't just do it like normal. Oh, I couldn't have just spun around like normal. That's how we have to do it. So yeah, anyways, that's what we're giving away on the raffle, everyone. Pretty cool piece of Mappa Burl.
I had no idea when the right time to stop that or begin it or to leave it full screen.
Yeah, that's how you should have ended. That's how you should have ended this entire episode.
Just a freeze frame of
just
that.
like that.
That's definitely getting clipped out for the cover art.
Perfect.
Well, I mean, that is the only way that you can present anything nowadays, I guess.
Exactly.
Just wait for my next epoxy reel. I got the perfect pair of pants for it.
Yeah, dude. You're not gonna get 1 million views.
You'll get 2 million.
I mean,
you'll get 2 million
with a dump truck like Kimani's. Yeah, that's 2-3 mil easy.
Right.
He got more than that just talking about computers. Imagine he gets the sex appeal going.
Right.
Oh,
that's a winner right there.
And computing, that's it.
It's over. It's game over.
Or immediately canceled. Just immediately.
Right. There's no in between.
Yeah. High risk, high reward.
It's either 10 million views or canceled tomorrow.
Yeah. So that's the risk I'm willing to take. Hannah just joined the chat.
Oh, she hops on like right around when any nonsense happens that we've got to worry about our sponsorship.
Listen, she saw Zach wagging that putting that wagon around. She was like, "Gotta come in and see it in person." I need
just a
to know.
Just a sense. There's booty out there. There's
somebody's out there dragging that wagon. I need to log on Instagram.
I need to see what's going down.
It's like logging into your E-Trade account. Let's check out how the investments are doing. This again. Booty.
She's like, it's 8:00 and Braden's still talking. What is going on? I didn't pay for this.
So Zach, to win the raffle, what are the details? Where do people have to go? What they got to do?
I have it in our bio. So it's the Makers for St. Jude on their website. But they have all the different raffles, so you have to make sure you go to the right raffle on there. But I know on our bio, I have the link on there as well. So, and then we're gonna bring this slab to the Workbench Con, and like I said earlier, that's where I really hope that it finally starts taking off, because of course people will see it in person at Workbench Con, and then you can auction it up to people and get them all hyped so people will do it, and then they'll share it on social media, and hopefully within those 2 days there, that's where the money actually starts doing something. But yeah, that's where it's probably the easiest way is just find the link in our bio there for that website.
And at Workbench at your booth, are you going to have like a QR code or something people can kind of scan at the booth just so they could enter while it's nice and fresh?
Yep.
What we should probably do, Brandon, is that brochure you're designing that we're going to use at WorkbenchCon. Maybe we need
put the QR code on that.
Put a square with the picture of it and say, hey, go to our booth or don't miss out on the raffle or something like that, with the QR code that's on our, because we're having a little, set of brochures made just for the WorkbenchCon here.
And it's $30 per entry, and that gets you a ticket or an entry.
Yeah, I believe so. Yep.
What's
$30, and then there's like 5 for 100 or something like that. I don't know. I just did the rules that he's done before. I think the same rules that Surf Prep did for that vacuum that they did.
So what would that slab go for normally? Just what's the MSRP price? What's the sticker price?
That slab, I mean, I would guess that's probably like that Mappa Burl $600 or so,
So a $600 slab for, 30, 60, $100 delivered by hand with Zach and booty shorts. I mean, that's a hell of a deal.
That sounds like
I am though for the people. Because majority of everyone ain't going to be able to just take it. That I was going to include shipping for that too. So essentially, the UPS that slab, that's like another $100. So really, you're looking at $700-800 slab out the door. And then of course I didn't get time today, but I was sandblasting a bunch of these. So the edge will be all sandblasted. It looks really cool when it's sandblasted because all the bark's removed off of it and stuff.
Well, it sounds great. I bet a bunch of people are probably going to hop on that when you get in front of them. You get out there, you start mixing with the people. I bet that's going to go way up, and all the money goes to St. Jude's.
Yep.
And if you don't like that part, we don't like you. So, just gonna say that. Well, Kimani, you got anything else? Any burning questions?
Nope. It was really great getting to talk with both of you, learn about the business, and I'm really just excited about meeting everybody at Workbench this year. I get to be a part of the newbie meetup, so I'm going to be a part of the committee that welcomes everybody. We're trying to make it a bit more interactive, make sure people even if it's your first time there, you're not coming with a squad of people that you at least know somebody. You got some friendly faces to kind of reach out to while you're roaming the halls until you find your clique. And there's some also like fun stuff Workbench is doing. But we're talking. I think we have a live set for tomorrow. So I'll be talking with the Workbench Con crew and Tiff and Brittany and Alma about everything that we're trying to plan for this year. So. Yeah, I'm just excited to meet both of you guys, to try out some of that oil, and just hang out. And this is podcasts are nice, but the face-to-face interaction and hanging out the hotel lobby is really where all the deals are made and all the long-lasting friendships are made in person. So yeah, like I said, I'm super excited, looking forward to it. I'm glad you guys made the time to hang out with us tonight. And I got to go put a small child to bed now.
Well,
sounds good.
Before we wrap up,
that's what I'm doing too.
We want to take a quick second. We want to thank our sponsors again. Thank you, Surf Prep. Thank you, George Supply Co. Surf Prep is going to be at WorkbenchCon as well. Check them out. I hear Hannah's learning to juggle. Fire may be involved. So just go check them out. Make sure you check out Zach and Brandon at the Rustic Lumber booth. Zach will have the booty shorts on. It has been decided. And then where else can everybody find you guys? YouTube, Facebook?
Yeah,
YouTube,
all
Facebook, the socials.
Instagram. Yeah, all of it is at well, not yet. We'll make that tomorrow. It's going to be at Rustic Lumber Store for everything.
All right.
Perfect. But yeah, make sure to check them out. Go give them a follow. And then we like to wrap up our episodes. TJ's not here to be enthusiastic in his way about it, but we do like to wrap up each of our episodes with a pop quiz type question. So if you had to give a piece of advice, if you had to give a word of wisdom, inspirational line, something to take all of the listeners, all of the woodworkers out there, and just inspire people to kick open their shop and go make a mess and go make something. What do you got?
From us?
Yes.
Yeah, it's I got one for you. It's get started. Do it. Like the longer you try to sit here and plan it and figure it out and to make it perfect, you're wasting a lot of time. So instead of trying to make it perfect, just get started. Start small and work your way up.
You heard it here first.
And investing in yourself is not a bad investment neither.
It's not.
All right, you heard it here first. Just do it, but not the trademarked version, like the regular old maker version of just do it. So, well, we will see you guys here next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Thanks for coming on, guys.
Adios.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.